I want you, oh beloved, watch this article. This is September 8, 2021. From poison passports, I'm trying to avoid that word, from poison passports to personal carbon passports. Now, carbon, what are they talking about? Carbon passports. Climate change passports. It says here, carbon passport, get ready for climate fossil fuel virus lockdowns. And when we conclude, we're going to show you first phase of the Sunday law. I tell you, within a few months, we're going to enter the first phase. Now, the first phase doesn't mean your probation's closed. But I'm going to show you, lest someone might think, this is the reasoning. As I was looking at the study, and I'm saying, Lord, I'm going to go back and repeat these 4 phases so we all see the steam. Because it's clear we're about to enter the first phase now. And the danger is, what the Lord showed me, that the danger is when you teach the 4 phases, and you show that it's only in the second phase the probation closes, they're going to say, let me wait for the first phase to come, and then I forsake unholy desires. I forsake my sin. Then I change my diet, I change my dress, I take God seriously. I say you're going to waste your time if you're going to do that. We're going to show you, you will be wasting your time. You'll just be a foolish version. You'll be trying to get oil, but it's too late to get the oil. I tell you, your probation is not closed in the first phase, but your preparation is over. You can no longer prepare. Now you must write the test. Your test is about to be given. The first phase places me in the classroom. That's all the first phase does. It doesn't yet put the test to me. It just places me in the classroom. Now when a teacher places you in that room, and you know before the teacher placed you there, it's a day of the test. Or you know, you've tried it before, maybe some of you, try and peep at your books while the teacher's not looking. You know she'd come there, she gives you a 0 straight away. You can't be cheating. You fail the test. Now, watch, friends. It says here, the link between the, friends. You know the Adventists say there's no link with the pandemic and the Sunday law. But question, did I say this was the Bible saying there's a link? This is Bible. Why the theologians will tell you there's no link. Ministers will tell you there's no link. But the Bible teaches, Jesus teaches there's a link between the two. Now watch it. It says the link between the virus pandemic and the climate policy pandemic was aggressively planted almost 2 years by the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. You all know about the system. No. That system wants you to own nothing and to be happy. They want you to be a slave. Now, why do they want you to be a slave? The borrower is servant to what? The lender. In order to receive the mark of the beast, you must first be a slave. Basically, you must be in servitude to them. You know what's their desire? That the whole world will come into debt, and then they bail the world out. And then everything you own is not yours, you can use it. Not yours, you use it. You're just a steward of our property. And then when the mark is enforced, they know that the world will bow down and receive the mark. The borrower is servant to the lender, Proverbs 22:7. Now, Klaus Schwab's a dangerous man, but he's just a tool in this whole thing. COVID-19, he said, opens the door for the what? Now, you all know what? Give me another word for great reset. That is, what is that? New World Order. So it says, the man, Klaus Schwab said it. The man said it. It says, he said, opens the door for the great reset. What does that mean? That the COVID-19 pandemic opens the door for the New World Order. The New World Order where you cannot buy, not sell, except you have the mark. Klaus Schwab said this. It says the Great Reset, a major remake of global power and politics. The possibility for change, the man said, invert commas there, the possibility for change and the resulting, what? The new order. We're not guessing now when he says Great Reset, new order, it means the same thing. Schwab said, it says, on now, he's saying basically with the position we're in, are now unlimited and only bound by our imagination. He's saying now we have the opportunity to set this new world order, and we're only bound by our imagination. That means we can push this thing through. Now let's continue. Now, what is this thing called? The economy. Now watch the economy. Will a time come when you cannot buy or sell? Is that linked according to Jesus with climate change? We're going to show you as we come into the conclusion that the first phase of the Sunday law is called a National Climate Sunday. And friends, we are speaking about this before, even before we saw the signs. We are showing you Bible, spirits of prophecy. Now, I want you to see, what is this thing? Watch this thing.
Doconomy, a Swedish fintech, took on the challenge and launched Do, a mobile banking service for everyday climate action. The Do app is connected to a credit card that enables users to track and measure their carbon footprint from each purchase and to compensate for its impact day by day. This spring, Doconomy took its fight against climate change one step further by adding a premium credit card to its offer. But instead of introducing a premium credit card with the typical benefits that encourages further mass consumption, Doconomy did the opposite by launching Do Black, the world's first credit card with a carbon limit. Simply put, it's the first credit card ever to stop you from overspending. Not based on your available funds, but rather on the levels of CO2 emissions caused by your consumption. Do Black helps you track your climate impact and ensures that you reduce it by 50% in line with the UN 2030 recommendation.
The core purpose of Do Black is not only the ability to measure the impact of your consumption, but also bringing it to a direct halt, making it a radical tool against climate change.
Let's pause there. Did you hear that? That this card is actually going to help us fight climate change. Did you hear what it was said there? When this card doesn't go with how much money you have in your accounts, but it goes upon how much carbon you have used. Every time you make a purchase, this thing calculates. It keeps until you have nothing left, then you can no longer use that card.
For years, credit cards have put a limit on our credit. Do Black puts a limit on our impact.
It puts you a limit on your what? Impact.
In Sweden, they have something where you can take plastic and nickel containers, recycle it, and they give you money. So people actually buy some of their groceries with them so that they can.
Now, I want you to see it continues. It says here, now, watch who's in connection with this thing. Where this article came from? World Economic Forum. This credit card has a carbon emission spending limit. Tapping into that problem, the Swedish fintech company, Doconomy, you can see that, has launched a new credit card that monitors the carbon footprints of its customers and, keyword, cuts off their spending when they hit their carbon max. Will that relate to no buying, no selling? Oh, beloved, I want you to see what this article says. It says technocrats want mandatory carbon credit cards to control every facet of your life. September 14, 2021. The technocrats are preparing mandatory personal carbon allowances that would introduce rationing into every area of your life via an app that would record your travel, heating expenses, and even the food you eat. The program would be national mandatory policy. So are you seeing how they're trying to introduce things that will control, so-called under the guise of actually saving the what? But it's going to shift from the climate, it's going to shift to worship. If you do not come along and worship a certain way, your right to buy and sell is going. I want you to see this article. September 15, 2021. Traditional buying and selling may soon become obsolete without biometric verification. So what they want to move us onto a system of what? Biometric. Now what do they want? It says the dystopia future where you can't buy or sell without constantly being monitored and connected to databases containing your fingerprints, face scans, eye scans, and more, continues to rapidly leak into the present. The global engineers want humanity to go beyond being merely connected to the internet. They want each individual personally and intimately connected by unique bodily identifiers enabling the tracking of everything you do. So they want to control you. They want to know every cent you spend, when you spend it, how you spend it. And it's going to be under the guise of climate change. No, we have to do this to save the planet. And those who reject this will be looked upon as the enemies. You don't help the planet. Do you know that this thing crosses all religions? Whether Islam, whether Christian, whatever religion you are, climate change crosses every religion. It continues. It says here, that Swipe, it's just one of many companies working on solutions such as this that will essentially serve as a digital ID, with plans in motion for a great reset of global financial system. Does that sound like a new world economic order? How much time do we really have before all banking systems converge into one giant entity, requiring our biometric data, vaccine passports, and obedience to totalitarian dictates to participate? When do they want the system in function? The first quarter of 2022. This date keeps popping up, 2022. And they say the first quarter of 2022, they want the system at least introduced. Maybe if it's not fully established, but at least introduced. What does that mean, friends? We are nearing a Sunday law. We are nearing it. Now, I want you to understand what does that mean. I'm going back to my quotation, Great Controversy 488. Great Controversy, page 488. Now, inspiration says there's something we ought to be what? Best acquainted with. A work we ought to be best acquainted with. Now, I'm going to read Great Controversy 488